In today's video, I will be going over every enchant in Deepwoken, and the many possible uses and synergies with them. If you've enjoyed, make sure to subscribe, because only about 20% of the people watching this video are actually subscribed. Now let's get into it. Gluttony causes you to steal hunger and thirst from anything or anyone you hit. This enchant doesn't exactly synergize with anything, but it is still very good utility. This enchant essentially makes it so you never need to eat or drink again. It also gives you the ability to outlast people in water fights, because not only are you constantly gaining water, but they're constantly losing chunks of their water. This enchant is a lot better than most people realize, and one of my personal favorites despite it being very off meta. Vampirism is fairly popular for some reason right now, and hitting someone with it will cause you to gain up to 20% of the health done per hit back. It also makes hitting someone steal a little bit of blood from their bar and add it into yours. This enchant is good against dagger users since it can help you restore your blood when fighting against them, and countering dagger users is always a W. This enchant is also good for tank build, since you can use it to heal more of your 600 HP build. The way it used to work made it heal the percentage you hit someone for instead of the flat damage dealt. This meant it used to heal a lot more if you had more health. However, even after the nerf, it's still viable in many different types of builds. This is the best PvP supplemental enchant in the game. It makes it so hitting someone has a chance to pull them back into you, even if they're still stunned. This enchant is really good with any build, since pulling someone into you during a stun just makes it easier to hit them and lock them into your combos. This is one of the enchants that currently needs a nerf in my opinion, but it's pretty hard to nerf an enchant when the only stat is the proc chance. You can realistically slap this enchant on any weapon in any build, and it will be at least twice as good as it was before. Just use this if you have it, and if you use this with your friend who has a wild enchant and you both swing into the same person, I fucking hate you. Make sure to subscribe right now and join my Discord in the description and comment section down below. But on to obfuscation. Yes, obfuscation, not obfuscation as I hear a lot of people saying. You fucking idiot. Learn how to say the word. Learn how to speak the language that you've been speaking for all of your fucking life. It's a very good enchant, but it's no longer viable on every weapon. This causes your weapon to gain an increase in swing speed, turn invisible, and after you hit someone, you will always gain a speed boost, which does stack with other speed boosts. Alright, so pause on that, because as I was recording this, they just happened to rework this entire fucking thing. So it no longer increases swing speed, except now it adds 50% chip damage, and it decreases your posture damage. So now it's good for chip builds or some shit. I really don't know, because it just came out as I was recording this, and I'm literally looking at the patch notes right now. It's not going to be meta anymore, I can just tell you that much, even though this has been out for like 30 seconds at this point. But regardless, it's at the very least still an invisible weapon, which works on fists, because instead of turning your cestus invisible, it makes your entire arms invisible. How does that make sense? Yeah, I put on some invisible gloves, so my entire arm turns invisible instead of just, my hands. Okay, game, that makes sense. Whenever you hit someone with chilling, there's a chance that it will freeze them for 5 seconds or so. Anyone who's frozen takes slightly less damage, but it's still free damage, so who cares? Chilling is good on fast weapons that can get a lot of hits in fast. This makes the proc more likely, and it makes you more capable of dealing damage to people while they're frozen. Chilling is always good on daggers or fists, and it also works on offhand guns. But if you use it on an offhand gun, just know that I do not like you, and I will find you. Deferred gives you a 10% damage upgrade on whatever weapon it's on, which is pretty lackluster seeing how 10% doesn't cross any meaningful damage thresholds except on daggers and specifically the heavy weapon Pale Morning, so you're gonna be hitting someone the same amount of times to kill them. Anyway, it makes it so upon hitting someone you don't do damage, but their health now drains slowly for however much you hit them. Except it also drains faster the more you hit them and the more damage you do. So it's technically a direct upgrade, but it's also kind of hard countered by no life king, seeing as how they'll usually out-regen your damage over time unless you're hitting them a lot really fast, in which case they're carried by their no life king. Currently meta, Storm adds a slight stun to all of your hits. When it's raining, you also get increased stun and slightly increased damage, I think maybe. Also, if you use Thunder Call, apparently the Storm Rain buff is always active 100% of the time. But I can't confirm that since I don't use that boring ass fucking no bitches, no friends solo ganking to talk shit to freshies because you have nothing better going on in your life attunement. If you couldn't tell, I don't like lightning users. It's like curse stacks, but universal and shitty. Hitting someone gives them a stack. Each stack increases the penetration or damage of whatever your weapon is. You can also switch targets since the buff is on the weapon and not debuffed onto the person you hit. So basically, hitting someone just increases your weapon's penetration damage stat. Providence Thorns makes it so parrying someone reflects some of the damage back onto them. It used to be a flat percent of their health, and now it depends on the attack you parry. It is slightly delayed, so you can actually parry or dodge it before it hits you, so just know that when fighting these guys. This enchant doesn't really synergize with anything, it's just good, so use it if you have it, or don't use it if you're a fucking loser and you want to trade it. I may own the Deepwoken trading hub, but I still think that people that trade are absolute losers. Get off the game. Missing an attack does like 1 or 2% of your max health in damage to yourself. But get this, it has the same damage buff as other enchants with no downside, which is 10%. Also, it increases the blood drain of any weapon it's on, so it's good on daggers. It's also hard counters the Curse of No Life King, so that's cool, but if you use this, and if you use this especially on a light weapon, I fucking hate you. But if you don't use this, or you use it on something random that you probably shouldn't be using it on because it's essentially a direct downgrade to anything else, you're okay. It explodes someone after hitting them like 6 or 7 times. Detonation is okay. No real synergies, and I would not really recommend using it unless you have it. So yeah. Blazing sets someone on fire when you hit them. It's okay. But if you have Lava Serpent Path with Flame Charm, then anyone you hit explodes every single time you hit them. It's very annoying, and if you use this, I really hate you. Heroism. This enchant is really bad. You do 25% more damage, which is the highest damage buff in the game, but only if you're above 90% health, which makes it pretty much useless, seeing as how after one hit, you're basically fighting without your enchant. So I guess if you're a god and never get hit, it's good. So this enchant absolutely synergizes with Synapse X, because you can never be hit with all that godlike skill. Wild. This enchant is the best enchant, is what I would have said months ago. It used to be a 10% damage upgrade, hit everyone in a radius, and procced all mantra talents that you had. Now it just hits everyone in a radius, except any additional players only take 25% of the damage of that initial hit, and you can't hit guild members. This isn't very good anymore, however you can do this to guild member where one has elastic, and you have wild to infinite combo someone, and it's very toxic. Don't do it. Whenever you hit someone, you either do 50% more damage to the person you hit, or 11% of your maximum health and damage to yourself. Just don't use this. It doesn't synergize with anything because it's shit, and there's literally no reason to ever have this. When it procs, yeah, it's pretty good, but when it procs on you, it's really bad. This buffs your posture damage. It also makes it so hitting someone will steal armor from them. It's usable and doesn't really synergize with anything, so just use it if you want to, or have nothing else. Umbral Knight. Oh, this enchant is really good. Just listen to the stats on this. Hitting someone double slashes them for an extra 20% damage, and this has a 5-second cooldown. On monsters, if you do this, the slash will hit you instead, so it's just really annoying to fight monsters. Once again, no real synergies. It's terrible for PvE, and it's mediocre for PvP. I guess you could use it if you hate yourself and you like to do PvE, but if you are using it, then you absolutely hate yourself. You deal extra posture damage to people who block. You also deal more damage whenever you guard break someone. Since this just adds flat posture stacking ability, it's actually better on daggers where you can land more hits on blocking opponents faster, especially because you can now easily posture break as you swing 1,000,000 times per second. Oh, Curse of No Life King. This enchant gives you enhanced health and health regen when equipped. The increased regen scales with how low your health is, so you actually heal faster the less health you have. Now for the many downsides. In the overworld, you're capped at 1 life before going to the depths. In the depths, you gain a massive amount of insanity when you equip your weapon, which will instantly kill you if you don't have a lot of willpower. And you lose blood about 3 times faster, meaning anyone with a dagger or the bloodthirsty enchant will absolutely stomp you. This enchant really isn't that good, seeing as how you will always die in the depths and wipe with it if you don't have the worst stat in the game, or, you know, blind seer, which is pretty bad unless you have flame, because you need the worst stat in the game. And it synergizes with nothing really. All the synergies that this enchant had were nerfed or removed because it would basically allow you to out-regen everything in the game. So it has no synergies, and it's just not really a good enchant anymore. Use it as a crutch, or don't use it if you're actually good at the game. Hitting someone will add stacks of a status effect known as Cauterize. This makes your weapon gain penetration in increments up to 40% extra pen. Also, Cauterize will take the percentage in damage you did to your opponent and do 1/5 of that in damage to their water bar. This enchant is good with high pen builds and that one talent that I forgot the name of, so it's good on fists, and it's really good in water fights, because, you know, you're gonna outlast literally everyone and they're forced to run away or die, which is really unfun to play against. Adhesive makes it so that anytime someone flourishes you, they get slowed down for a few seconds, much like most armor enchants in this game. It has very little synergy. Also, it's pretty much useless. Most people who would be using this enchant are probably only using it for the drip, or it just happens to have decent stats, and it's also enchanted. Drowned causes the stats of gear to dramatically increase. It's the most used and most common enchant in the game for armor because stats are usually prioritized over anything else in terms of armor pieces. If someone hits you, then you have a chance to charm them, which makes them do less damage to you. It's an okay enchant, and it's worth taking if the piece has decent stats on it. If someone hits you, then there's a chance they'll be knocked away from you. I can't really say very much on this because, you know, no real synergies, it's just good and it's really annoying to play against. Fuck you! I hate people who use this. If I hit you, then you get free hyper armor and a speed boost. That is so balanced and fun to play against. I hate you. You wanna know what it synergizes with? It synergizes with homosexuals, and I really hate you. Because, you know, you have displacement, and boom, now you get rewarded because I hit you. You get rewarded for making a mistake. This enchant is literally just bad game design. Fuck you, Archmage. This enchant makes you take more damage in less time. Or well, it might as well. It makes it so when you get hit, you lose 50% of your speed and take, get this, 10% less damage. Which, by the way, means nothing because that crosses no noticeable damage threshold, and you will still die in the same amount of hits no matter what. Absolute garbage enchant. Oh yeah, except, get this, you're also slow, so you're going to get hit more. So you're going to take more damage than you would have if you didn't have this enchant. Let's go. When you take damage, you can recover food, water, and blood. I like Multiplicity, because it soft counters dagger and bloodthirsty users, which is always a huge W, anything that does that. But still, it's not very good. If someone hits you, then you become a true Deepwoken player, and the smell of your non-showering ass pollutes the air and damages those inside the cloud. You don't shower if you play Deepwoken, so this is a pretty accurate enchant. Stench is not very good because it doesn't do enough damage to make a difference in any real fight. It's really just area denial, except, you know, nobody denies the area because Deepwoken players are too fucking stupid, so, you know, people just push through it. Yeah, does not matter. Anytime anyone hits you, it turns into damage over time as if you were hit with deferred, without the damage buff. It also doesn't work with no life kings, so no regen bug abusing anymore. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I actually enjoyed recording it, despite how I may sound while recording it. Make sure to join my Discord, description and comment section down below. Follow me on Twitch. I'll be streaming more stuff soon, I guess. And I'll probably play more Minecraft soon eventually. Give me your money, buy a YouTube membership, join my Discord, give me your money, Nitro boost my server. Just give me your money. Just join all my shit, follow me on everything, give me your fucking money. Watch all my ads, watch my videos. I hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.